What if the thing you're trying to run from is the very thing you need to face? Suffering, pain, struggle. We spend our lives trying to avoid it, to numb it, to escape it. But what if suffering isn't a mistake, but the core of what it means to be alive? Two men, born centuries and worlds apart, offered two of the most profound answers to this question. One gave up a life of royalty and riches, seeking peace in silence and stillness. The other endured madness, solitude and despair, searching for strength in the storm. One said, "Let go. Craving is the cause of suffering." The other said, "Endure. Suffering creates who you are." Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, and Friedrich Nietzsche. One believed salvation came from detachment. The other believed greatness came from confrontation. Two philosophies, two paths through pain. So which one leads to freedom? Which one leads to truth? And in your own life, when the suffering comes, will you let go or will you hold on and burn? Why do we suffer? Why is pain so deeply woven into the fabric of human existence? Is it a curse, a test, a signal that something's gone wrong or something's about to change? For the Buddha, suffering is a fire, fueled by craving, by attachment, by illusions we mistake for truth. The goal? To extinguish that fire, to find peace beyond the burning. But for Friedrich Nietzsche, suffering is not a fire to be put out. It's a forge, a necessary pain that melts away the false self and reforges the soul into something stronger, truer, and more powerful. So we return to the question, not just of philosophy, but of life itself. What should we do with our suffering? Should we calm it or conquer it? Should we let it go or let it shape us? Before he was the Buddha, he was Siddhartha, a prince shielded from pain. No death, no sickness, no decay. Until one day he saw it. An old man, a dying body, a corpse. The illusion shattered. Life was not a garden of pleasures. It was soaked in impermanence. And in that moment, he began to ask, why do we suffer? He walked away from his kingdom, from his wife, from his child, not out of cruelty, but in search of an answer for all who suffer. What he discovered would become the foundation of Buddhist philosophy, the Four Noble Truths. First, life is suffering, not always in the form of pain, but in the form of craving, clinging, and unease. This is dukkha, the ache that sits beneath our pleasures, the dissatisfaction that follows every achievement, the fear that what we love will leave or change or fade. Second, the cause of suffering is attachment, desire, thirst. We crave pleasure, we avoid pain, we cling to identity, to people, to things. But the world is impermanent, and when we cling to what changes, we are torn by it. Imagine holding onto a flame, demanding it not flicker. That is how we live. Third, there is a way out. If suffering arises from clinging, then peace must come from letting go. And so comes the fourth truth, the path. The Eightfold Path is not a religion. It's a discipline of liberation. Right view, to see the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. Right intention, to aim not for desire, but for peace. Right speech, action, and livelihood, to live ethically and avoid causing harm. Right effort, to train the mind and resist temptation. Right mindfulness, to be present in each moment without judgment. And right concentration, to develop the deep stillness needed to see clearly. To the Buddha, suffering is not a punishment. It is a teacher. It tells us, you are clinging, you are resisting change, you are seeking permanence in a world that flows. Enlightenment isn't escaping the world. It's no longer being trapped by it, not by force, not by dominance, but through clarity, through compassion, through release. To let go is not to lose, it is to be free. Friedrich Nietzsche was not afraid of pain, he was afraid of a life without it. While others sought to eliminate suffering, Nietzsche sought to elevate it. To him, suffering was not a flaw in existence, it was the forge of greatness. He famously said, "What does not kill me makes me stronger," not as comfort, but as challenge, as a call to become more than you are. While the Buddha preached liberation from desire, Nietzsche preached confrontation. He believed that pain wasn't an illusion to be transcended. It was a crucible. And in that crucible, the human spirit could either break or transform. At the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy is the will to power, the deep driving force within us, not just to survive, but to overcome, not to escape hardship, but to climb it, to wrestle with it, to use it as fuel. In Nietzsche's world, the highest individual is the one who turns pain into strength, despair into meaning, suffering into song. This is where Amor Fati is born, the love of fate. Not mere acceptance, but the embrace of everything that happens, good and bad, as necessary. When we say yes to our suffering, we say yes to life itself. Every heartbreak, every illness, every failure is part of the raw material for becoming who you are. Nietzsche called this the path of the Übermensch, the overman, a being who creates his own values, who forges meaning not from comfort, but from struggle. Where others break, he builds. Where others curse the world, he affirms it. He doesn't run from the darkness. He walks through it and comes out forged by fire. Nietzsche didn't believe suffering was sacred because it felt good. He believed it was sacred because it made us real. To suffer nobly is not just to endure, it is to transform. And in that transformation, we become free. The Buddha invites us to look inward and recognize the root of our suffering, craving, desire, and attachment to an ever-changing world. To him, suffering is a signal, a message urging us to let go, to release the ego's hold on the fleeting things of this world. His path is one of detachment, ethical living, and mindful awareness, teaching us that true freedom lies in surrendering the illusion of a permanent self. Through this surrender, we reach nirvana, a state of perfect peace and liberation, where suffering dissolves like morning mist. Nietzsche, however, sees suffering not as something to escape, but as the essence of life itself, the fire that forges the strongest steel. He challenges us to face pain head-on, to endure it, to transform it into a source of power and personal growth. His concept of the will to power urges us to embrace suffering as a necessary force that pushes us beyond our limitations toward self-overcoming. In this struggle, we become the Übermensch, the individual who affirms life in all its chaos and pain, and who creates meaning through that very struggle. In essence, the Buddha teaches us to detach to be free, to find serenity by letting go. Nietzsche replies, struggle to be strong, to find freedom through becoming more than we are. One path seeks peace, the other demands strength. Both offer profound wisdom on suffering, but they invite us to walk very different roads. So which path will you choose? The way of serene release or the path of fiery transformation? The answer might just shape how you live, suffer, and ultimately how you become. Which philosophy is right? Do we suffer to transcend life itself, to escape, to find peace beyond pain? Or do we suffer to deepen life, to forge ourselves stronger through every trial? Perhaps the truth is not a simple choice between the two. In a world that holds both chaos and stillness, pain and peace, the answer is not either or, it's when. Sometimes the path calls us to let go, to surrender desires, to find calm and release. Other times it demands we fight, to face hardship head on, to grow through struggle. It's in navigating this delicate balance between detachment and engagement that we discover who we truly are. Suffering, then, is neither enemy nor friend, but a mirror reflecting the depths of our journey, a teacher guiding us toward freedom and becoming. So take a moment to ask yourself, when is it time to release? And when is it time to rise? The answer may shape not just how we suffer, but how we live and how fully we become.